Mr. Renard, do you have anything else for us this evening?
No, thanks, Mayor.
Ms. Ariema, do you have anything for us this evening? Wow.
First, seniors in motion ban, yea or nay?
Nay, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so we got more information. Would anybody like more information, or? Sure. Somebody, people asked questions last time.
Well, I think it's very inappropriate if we sign an agreement that we're not going to use it. It's 5 years, we have to maintain it, and I think it's very inappropriate for us to sign a document. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna have to go along with the mayor. I did speak to the people of the county. You know, we did speak about it, and like I said, I thought the agreement would have been 3 years, so that maybe we could have possibly stored the van and collected on it before the wheels fell off. But since we can't, then there's no reason for us to take something that we have no use for at the current time.
The additional information?
Well, that was basically it, that you have to agree to use it for this for 5 years. You can get a 12-passenger or a 15-passenger. And if you weren't going to use it, you'd have to put it somewhere, reserve it, wait for the 5 years to expire, then you could auction it off. So they won't give you the money.
Right.
They will cover that. They
And
said
then
that.
just for the public's benefit, the reason that we're not taking it is it doesn't include a lift, correct?
Correct.
That's basically
There's
it.
not a need for it. I don't think.
We already have a van with a lift that costs a lot of money, and believe me, I'm always willing to take free stuff, but you can't just take stuff that we have no use for. It was for the seniors, so I don't know why they even said that these are vans for seniors, so.
If you could take it and use it for something else, that would not be, you still want to, but you can't. It's
Yeah.
only used for seniors. So you don't, you can't even.
And that's why
So
we
we really
wanted to
can't
loop.
fit it with a lift, right?
No,
That is cost money.
I don't think so.
I don't cost money.
No, I don't know honestly.
The whole thing
so
has to be
that-
retrofitted, I mean,
They
every
say
single
it
thing.
seats 12, it looks really good, it seats 8, to be
Oh.
honest.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mayor.
Ms. Ariema?
So I'll let them know that we declined this one.
Thank you.
Okay. So I need to talk about the adoption of the redevelopment ordinance. You directed me to secure the school for September 13th and to relocate the meeting, but that was pending because I had to make sure I could. I did secure the school for the council meeting on September 13th. And I just want to confirm that that's what you want me to do, and that you want me to put the redevelopment ordinance up for adoption on that evening. I need to advertise some things, so I need you to tell me that's what you want me to do or not want me to do. Yes.
Input?
It's good, it's still available.
Very good, Ms.
So
Ariema.
let me know that the meeting on September 3rd, I will put it on the marquee, I will put it on the door, will be held at Lincoln School.
On the 13th.
13.
September 13th.
Yes,
The regular meeting of the mayor and council.
That's correct.
Will be held at Lincoln School.
Thank you.
And I will proceed to publish that.
And that'll be voted on that night?
That'll be a public hearing and,
Yes, it will be on the agenda.
So there's only gonna be the one public meeting and then no discussion after the fact, after that?
Can you clarify that?
yeah, there'll be a
Well,
public
it's a
hearing
public
there.
hearing and it's a second reading, so of course you
Right.
can have a discussion.
Yes.
Okay.
That's-
You don't have
As
to
with
adopt
any
that night.
ordinance.
All right, we don't have to adopt it
You don't
that
want
night.
to, no,
Okay.
but it'll be moved for adoption, I believe, and it'll be voted on, I believe, or not. But your public hearing is, don't, right, am I right about you don't have to adopt it at the public hearing, hold the public hearing
No,
for the adoption?
correct. It's scheduled for a public hearing and second reading. There's no legal obligation to adopt that. In other words, you can have a hearing, you can have a public hearing and not vote on the ordinance on that. It's up to the governing body.
Sorry, who decides, what do we decide that night if we feel like voting on it or not?
Yes,
Okay.
Well, Mr. Renard, it's on the agenda. It's on the agenda that night.
yes.
Does that mean you're,
Yeah, it's scheduled for a vote. I mean, you
Okay.
never, anytime you have a public hearing on an ordinance, you're not obligated to vote on the ordinance that evening. It's on the agenda to be voted
Okay.
on, but it's not, you know, we have not often, but I mean, we've not had ordinances that have been voted on the night they have public hearings.
okay, thank you.
Okay, the other matter I have is, I've been working with Donald on the tree sidewalk project. And
Just before you go on, I'm sorry, I would say, understand, there's no further notice requirement. So in other words, even if the ordinance were not voted on that evening, or if it was decided for some reason to table it, or for whatever reason, I'm just letting you know, that if you did that, there's no further notice required. It could be taken up at any meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been working with Donald on this tree and sidewalk project. Remember, it started last year, and we couldn't get a sidewalk contractor, so we proceeded with the tree work because it was a grant and we had to finish it. As I knew, it was a problem because these two things should have been done together. So we've had a couple of scenarios, and we're trying to work through those. I don't know if anybody's gotten any feedback from residents, but we've had some snares. That's one problem. The other problem is, I've gotten a lot of people coming out now, they, report on their issues, which we have no money in this bond to add any work on, or any change orders or anything, so there's only two issues. Of my tree budget, I have $45 left in my tree budget. So, there's two issues that, I mean, everybody else I told me have to wait, but these two issues, I just want to bring to your attention. I'll tell the people they have to wait if you want, but one of them is on Hickory. It was part of this project, but it was taken out because the water company fixed the sidewalk, and the tree was taken out, but there was too much of a root left, and they topsoiled it and seeded it, so now in front of this house, it's topsoiled and seeded. You can't see the hump, but it goes like that. So the lady came in, and she explained to me that it's hard for her to get out of her car, and she wanted to know how this happened, so I had to do some research to figure out why did it get taken off the list. But when we go and check to do the work, we saw the sidewalk was done, and somehow it got taken off. So I got a quote to take out that hump. I'd like to do that. And then the other place is on 3rd Avenue. It's a big tree, and the people who live there want to redo their driveway apron, and our tree is in their way. And I told her that I'd take it out next year, but she wants to do her apron, and our trees in her way. So I need you to just tell me it's okay, and I will do a resolution next council meeting, and I can charge buildings and grounds instead of the shade tree budget, or that's the only option. You can't overdraw the budget.
This bit for contingent? Do you know what the
Contingent
first?
is not, this is not meet the criteria for contingent charge.
Okay.
How much is the work?
Altogether, the work is $19.25. So,
That's for both properties.
yeah. And like I said, the rest of, everybody's been put in for the next round of work, but I feel bad to hold these people up with it. But whatever you tell me to do.
On the one issue with the hump, is there any way that we could do something with the county with the stump grinder, or is that?
I had the county come in and take care of 2 trees for me last week. One was a big limb hanging and taking a tree down. I could ask them, but there was.
But is that the process that they're gonna do? They're just gonna grind it?
They're gonna grind it out topsoil and seed it and make it flat.
Can we ask the county to do that?
I can ask the county to do both of them. I'll try that first. But I just asked them to do work for me, and it was a little challenging to get them out for those 2 things, but I can ask them. I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage, but I'll do that first.
That's all you can try.
I'll do that first. And see how it goes. I'll report back to you next time. And just want to double check, make sure that you do not want to put a question on the ballot, correct? You talked about it a little bit, you asked me for information, I provided you information. It was about putting a fire truck or something related to that.
Right, not at this
Really,
time.
Really couldn't probably at this point, but I just want to make sure that you didn't want to. I have to answer that question.
You're correct. The finance committee met, very preliminary, we had a meeting with the fire chief, but again, very, very preliminary stuff, not this year, for sure.
Okay, great. Thanks. And then I just want to remind everybody, the August 23rd meeting, we'll have an executive session related to the July 18th letter from Mr. Renaud, the special master. Is that what they're called, Mr. Renaud?
The special master, our color consultant, this
Oh,
company.
okay. Ms. Hartman?
Yep.
That was, okay. It's coming to our meeting. Would that be, it would be an executive, in and out of executive, is that correct?
I thought, what I envisioned was that we would have her come, she and I would talk for the edification of the public about the process and what is needed to be done generally to comply, and then we would have subsequently an executive session to discuss the ongoing litigation.
That would be my preference, if we could have both the public and a private component, I think that would be good.
Okay, yeah, agree with that.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Okay. Any unfinished business for the council this evening? Any new business?
Surprise, surprise.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
You're my pleasure.
Continue on. Comments and matters for discussion for members of council. Councilwoman Cooper.
Nothing for me today, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Martin.
Nothing there.
Thank you. Councilman Matthew.
Nothing, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Sarno.
Nothing, thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Tedesco.
Thanks, Mayor. Just a quick item. I'll stop that streak. Ms. Ariema, in light of the 2015 DOT project being held up by our state government at the moment, I'd like to see if we can notify the residents affected that are expecting the work to be done. And, you know, they may know because of the news, but just in case they don't, and just to keep them up to date with the situation and to let them know why their road's not getting paved right now. I know, especially on the section of 3rd Avenue that we're doing, they've been anticipating this since the drainage was done a couple years ago, so I'm sure they're anxious.
We can do that, no problem.
Thank you.
So we put it on the
Thank you.
website? too? No?
Sure.
Cool, thanks.
Great.
Anything else, Councilwoman?
That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Council President. Thank you. Okay, go to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, state your full name and address, and please have your comments for 3 minutes. Mr. Patterson.
Good evening, Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. The Council, Bruce Patterson, 345 Willow Avenue. Telling the residents of 3rd, I mean, I'll be glad to deliver the flyers. I've walked around many times over the course of many years. That'll save you on postage, so I volunteer as a resident, if that's possible.
Okay.
Just, you know, call me, give me the flyers.
We know where you live.
Don does it, you know. No, and I think, thank you for bringing it to light that, you know, possibly you will, after the public hearing on the Casali Development Plan, that you will take it under further deliberation and not possibly just vote that night, but consider it further and maybe vote another time. I appreciate that. You know, so it doesn't look like, you know, everybody has their minds made up a little. You know, we're looking at already 2 votes of 3-3, which kind of foreshadows things. But
Do you mean I have to vote again?
yeah, maybe another vote. And also just keeping a quick track of county items. I mean, so far we turned down 2 grants and 1 van in the past year, maybe year and a half. I don't know, something doesn't sound right, you know me in the county. But, you know, it's coming to a head where we're actually turning down things, and it's our money actually supposed to be coming back to us. And I'm not saying, you know, to take it automatically, but there's a system that's failing in between our interlocal agreements here. And I don't know if there's any resolution that can be done, but anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Please step to the microphone.
Keith Locke, 609 East. Just wondering if the council has that opportunity to consider the issue, if you want to call it that, that's before us, as to permitting a fence to be put on our property in view of being able to sell the house.
I'm going to prepare a proposed agreement for you, Mr. Locke, and send it to you. council will, hopefully will schedule a vote on August 23rd. I say hopefully only because of the timing. I'm not absolutely sure I'm going to be able to get it to you so that you can get it back to me in time for August 23rd, but I'm hopeful that that's what will happen. So a vote will be taken that evening if we're able to work that out.
Okay, I think we have no choice but to accept what you're saying.
Okay, good.
And that's, I don't want to be difficult unless, see, there's so much hinging, there's so many families on this decision. All that we're looking for is permission to be able to put the fence with Mr. Dunn so well put together, as we've all seen on the survey. If there's any way that that could be expedited, I don't know how much you folks want to get involved in what's personal, but just from our own viewpoint, we have a house waiting for us in Warren. These folks have waited 3 months because they want us to have the house. And now we're talking about another couple of weeks at least. Is there any way that we could expedite this? We would do everything.
Well, there's no way to expedite having an agreement, and nothing is going to help you unless you have a written agreement. So
Right, that's all
there's
it
no
is.
way you're going to get a written agreement tonight. The council doesn't meet again until the 23rd, so there isn't anything that can be done to expedite it.
Mr. Arnott, just a quick question. I wish I asked it back there, but would it be inappropriate for the council people to give their sentiments to Mr. and Mrs. Locke since they're here tonight?
I mean, I suppose they could. I wouldn't be preparing the agreement if I didn't expect it to pass, but, you know, there's 2 weeks between now and then. And, you know,
And the problem with that, Mr. Locke, if I could just say, is that you're going to be making a representation to someone else that I have a majority of a public, body voting for it, and they're going to have nothing in writing.
Right, well, they would certainly, they do, they express themselves at meeting and writing, which is understandable.
right.
And we can't act in
Right.
between meetings, we're not able to do that.
Okay.
Mr. Arnott's answer was a good one.
I'm sorry?
I appreciate Mr. Arnott answering now.
Yeah. Okay, well, we want to thank everybody that has shown interest. Some members have come to the house, spent time with us, which is very gracious. And we will just certainly accept what's been indicated, has to be done, and fall in line.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none at this point, do you have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Should we continue on?
Yes.
Please rise for a moment of silence, salute to the flag.
Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Advert notice of this meeting was provided to the Westfield Leader and Union County local source, advertised on January 7, 2016. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and promptly posted on the municipal public bulletin board and filed in the office of the municipal clerk, forming the public in time and place according to the revisions of the Open Public Meeting Order, Chapter 231 PL 1975. Everyone, please turn off their electronic devices. Moving on to roll call in this area.
Mayor Lombardo?
Here.
Councilman Corderow?
Here.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Matthews?
Here.
Councilman Sarno?
Here.
Councilman Canesko?
Here.
Council President Petrozelli?
Here.
Ms. Arian, the minutes.
Okay, just, this says the 27th, but what's the last council meeting, 26th?
Correct.
Yes, there's a typo, so I just want to clarify that. Okay, regular and workshop meetings of the mayor and council held on July 26th, 2016.
Do you have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Arian, communications.
New Jersey State League of Municipalities Mayor's Advisory.
Receive and file.
Mildred, I'm going to butcher that, so I'm just going to.
Schweitzer.
Schweitzer.
Thank you, note for the resolution honoring her late husband, Margaret.
Receive and file.
For Roy Valley School Authority minutes.
Receive and file. I see we have no ordinances for this evening. Council standing committees, reports, and other reports. Police, Councilman Sarno.
Thank you, Mayor. Last night, the police committee met to discuss handicap parking in the borough. Specifically, should residents be permitted to have a handicap parking spot on the street if they have off-street parking available to them. The police committee unanimously decided to ask the borough administrator if she could run a survey of all Union County towns to see if they exclude on-street handicap spots to those residents who have off-street parking readily available to them, like Kenilworth has, for instance. Would that be okay?
I can do that.
Please. Thank you. Furthermore, the committee recommends that the mayor either bring back the parking committee or charge an existing committee to examine the borough's parking needs and specifically find out if we need to expand the permit sticker policy currently in place for certain streets and areas.
Yes, thank you. At the next meeting, I will reinstate the parking committee because I personally have received some emails of other residents in town and also in the business areas that are concerns about that. So I'll make that presentation at the next meeting.
Very good. And lastly, thank you to all those who made time and volunteered their time, effort, and appreciation last week to the Borough Police Department. I know it was greatly appreciated. And that's all for my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Any comments on the police report? Seeing none. Department Health, Councilwoman Cooper.
Oh, I'm sorry, no report, Mayor. The next meeting is next month.
Thank you. Streets and Roads Ecology, Council President Burgess Elliott.
Thank you, Mayor. The Department of Public Works completed their regular recurring activities from July 27th through August 9th. Additionally, the DPW completed their other miscellaneous activities, which included continued street sweeping operations on north side of the borough, post areas to be swept the day before for no parking. All streets on the north side will be completed this week. Remove the debris from the tops of all stormwater drainage inlets on north and south side of the borough numerous times throughout the period due to heavy rains. Remove the weeds and planters in front of Borough Hall. Continue to weed the mulch beds at Borough Hall, Kennedy Plaza, Georgiana Memorial, and the Sports and Recreation Complex. Cut down the shade tree at 509 East Street at Locust Avenue. Continue to weed the sidewalk area along the municipal building fronting Center Street, South Avenue, and along Center Street between North and South Avenues. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Any comments on the report? Hearing none. Fire, Councilwoman Cooper.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Finance, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Buildings and Grounds, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Laws and License, Councilman Martin.
There's 5 applications for raffle licenses in currently. Committee recommends the adoption of resolution number 16-249 for the application of 4 off-premises 50/50 raffle licenses to be drawn on October 9th, 2016, December 11th, 2016, February 12th, 2017, and April 23rd, 2017. The Church of St. Anne, 325 Second Avenue, Garwood, by the Church of St. Anne. Committee also recommends the adoption of resolution number 16-250 for the application of 1 off-premises 50/50 license to be drawn on October 1st at the Knights of Columbus, 2016 at the Knights of Columbus, 32nd Garwood, by the PBA Local 117 Civic Organization. That is all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Any comments on the reports or laws and license? Seeing none. Recreation, Councilman Martin.
This Sunday, this Sunday, the Rec Commission will hold its annual senior brunch from 12 to 3. And they already have 50 or 60 seniors who've signed up for that, and it should be another successful brunch. Don't forget to
Okay. Okay.
That is all from my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Any comments on the recreation report? Seeing none. Garwood Senior Citizens Liaison, Councilwoman Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor. Just very quickly, only 2 items were brought to my attention. Number 1, the seniors only meet 1 time a week during the month of July and August. They're going to change that to meeting 2 times a month next year because they feel like there's a lot of seniors that maybe don't have anything to do, so they would like to expand it. so they can continue the two meetings a month. Also, if there's any possible way, I know the contract is not up yet with the Board of Health. We do have blood pressure screening once a month. They were wondering if there's any money in the budget to increase that to 2 times a month. So maybe we could put that on the radar, or if that's going to be in the budget, how much more it would cost, they would love for that to be done twice a month instead of once. And that is all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any comments on the senior report?
Just a quick one on the finance side of the blood pressure screenings. I hope they can do that at, fair price for them, if that's what they're requesting, it's more than fair. But is that something you'll bring to the Board of Health and see, because they prepare their budget and then submit it to the borough, so they would probably need to include it. So,
Okay,
I know that's your other hat, so.
Right, well, that's wonderful, because I really wasn't totally aware of where I should go with it, but I know you're all
I
bringing
think
it
you
here.
should give it to the director.
Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna be meeting with them next month, I'll shoot an email over, and I'll send her over if that can be put to the budget and what it would cost, and it's not that much to ask.
Right, I agree.
Okay,
That's
well,
great.
thank you
You're
for the
welcome.
direction.
No problem.
Thank you for your input. Okay, Libraries Mayor Representative, Council President Petroselli.
Thank you, Mayor. Last Wednesday, library wacky Olympic Wednesday events included target golf and water bottling bowling. An Olympic champion was crowned at the end of the competition. Gold, silver, and bronze medals were awarded. Check it out on our Facebook page. On Thursday night, the book club met to discuss Joy School. Friday was the last day to log in for the summer reading program. Today, Tuesday, we had our summer reading and ice cream party. 26 children participated and read over 500 hours this summer. All participants received prizes and certificates. Peyton Collins, the first place winner with 5,066 minutes, received 4 tickets to Rebounders, a trampoline park in Edison. Second place winner was Lauren Raftree, received a $30 Visa gift card. And third place winner was Abigail Hinkle, received a $25 Visa gift card. Fun was had by all participating in the final WOW games. The Freeholders Grant for Children's program will be presented to all Union County libraries on August 18th at the Freeholders meeting in Elizabeth. The library will be closed on Saturdays for the rest of August. Regular Saturday hours will begin again on Saturday, September 10th after Labor Day. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the library report? Hearing none, School Board Liaison, Representative Councilman Sarno.
No report, meeting next week.
Thank you. Celebration of public events and holidays Liaison, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor?
Thank you. Union County Air Traffic Noise Advisory Board Representative, Councilman Matthew.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Administrative Review Committee, Councilwoman Tedesco.
No report, Mayor?
Historical Committee.
You got it, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. The president of the Historical Committee has been in contact about getting us a tour of the Casali property and perhaps the Petro property as well. A short tour, it's looking like Wednesday, August 17th at 11 a.m. I'll let the mayor and council know if that date changes. It would be the mayor and council and the Historical Committee present. So I know I've marked it on my calendar, and feel free to email me and let me know if you plan on attending, and that way there, when we meet, we'll make sure we're looking out for everyone. And it would be a good opportunity for us to document the property with photos and hopefully with video as well. And that's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any comments on the Historical Committee report?
11 a.m.
Yeah, just a question, is there
Yes.
a possibility of doing it at a different time? I mean, I'm gonna be working at 11 a.m. on Wednesday.
I'm seeing the Historical Committee president shake his head no. The time available to us was during the day, so. Sorry about that, but it's limited availability, I guess, on the part of the tour guide.
I can take video. I mean, I know it's inconvenient
Great.
to work during the day. Take
Thanks.
video, maybe that would help.
Sure. It would be appreciated. If you want to bring a video camera, sure.
Is there any way we can have a separate tour if need be?
Well, let's do the one and see what happens.
You know, you can reach out to somebody, you know.
Make the best out of the first one, take it forward from there, yeah. How would we do that?
Sure.
Okay, continue on. There's no officers report this evening. Public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I'll go last.
I think you're first and last.
I'll go last.
I'll go next. Yin and yang. Good evening, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, Bruce Patterson, 325 Willow Avenue. Just a little further on the Casal tour. It's for posterity. You know, this is the historical committee putting this together. It's going to be a guided tour. Mike Madara, whose family is involved with the Casal property, he's worked there since a kid, you know, and he works there now. He has his business there, and he'll be giving us a tour of the building. And also Patsy, who's a Garwood historical member, worked in World War II. Worked in that building.
Mr. DeFabio?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Patsy DeFabio. Yeah. And I don't remember when they were packaging radioactive materials over there. But he's still kicking. He's still doing good. So. But anyway, we're gonna have it. This is all for posterity.
Wow.
Because sooner or later, we will not have a factory that was, that was here for a long time.
Okay.
Just another thing. Last meeting, I did ask exactly what are the powers and authority of the council when it comes to the redevelopment plan, and Bob gave us like the whole rundown of the procedure. He really didn't get into much as to the powers and authorities, but I looked it up, and I just want to read this, I guess, for all of our understanding, the public and the mayor and the council, unless you guys are aware of it already, but just for the public. New Jersey statute 40A 12A-7, D and F seems to talk about the council's obligations, and I'll read it. All provisions of the redevelopment plan shall be either substantially consistent with the municipal master plan or designed to effectuate the master plan, but the municipal governing body may adopt a redevelopment plan which is inconsistent with or not designed to effectuate the master plan by affirmative vote of a majority of its full authorized membership, with the reasons for so acting set forth in the development plan. And that's interesting. So, I have to look at the redevelopment plan and see if there's actually reasons why it is not pertaining to the regular zoning or master plan. Then paragraph F. The governing body of a municipality may direct the planning board to prepare a redevelopment plan or an amendment or revision to the redevelopment plan for a designated redevelopment area. After completing the redevelopment plan, the planning board shall transmit the proposed plan to the governing body for its adoption. The governing body, when considering the proposed plan, may amend or revise any portion of the proposed redevelopment plan by an affirmative vote of the majority of its authorized membership, and shall record in its minutes the reasons for each amendment or revision. When a redevelopment plan or amendment to a redevelopment plan is referred to the governing body by the planning board under this subsection, the governing body shall be relieved of the referral requirements of subsection E of this section. Just reading that, I read it into, I guess, the record, so, but it is, you can reference it and take a look at it, and just see exactly what your obligations are. It appears you can deliberate on this and tweak it if need be by majority vote. So that's actually what I was asking about the last time, and that's the answer. And just getting in, it was mentioned the master plan, and it doesn't have to be 100% solely strictly for the master plan, but this is the master plan from 2009, transit-oriented development, section 13, page 36. The land use plan illustrates 5.98 acres of land at the intersection of South Avenue and Center Street, adjacent to the railroad right-of-way, to be utilized for transit-oriented development. These 5.98 acres will be rezoned for a mixture of uses included but not limited to retail, residential, and open space. The rezoning of this property will, of necessity, require the residential component of at least 15 units per acre with 20% set aside. This proposed rezoning would yield a total of 18 low and moderate income housing units. And as the council authority, it doesn't have to be strictly according to this, but where this master plan is talking about 15 units, we are now proposing 90 units, And with the 20% set aside, we're only proposing 10% set aside. So the units are going up, the set aside, which is the co-obligation, is going down. It's something to be considered. You can look that up in the master plan also. I just wanted to point that out. This is part of my research, what I'm looking forward to speaking again at the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be the mayor and council. I need to have Bruce have the last word when it comes to master plan, so I figured I'd have it up. Bill Neer says 320 Hickory Avenue. As you know, the master plan is adopted by the planning board, not the governing body. The planning board, in its recommendation to the governing body, found that the redevelopment plan was consistent with the master plan. As Bruce indicated, the master plan is a guiding document. It does not state specifics. The land use ordinance, and in this case, the redevelopment plan, which hopefully you will adopt, and you certainly can tweak it as Bruce indicated, you will adopt, becomes the zoning regulations for that area. And within the master plan, as I indicated, it's a guiding document, and as Bruce said, it's at least those numbers. It's also very important to recognize that this whole sense of density, the borough's single-family residential zones and two-family zones are developed at 8 to 15 units per acre. That's single-family and two-family. I don't think anybody is proposing single-family and two-family houses, nor does anybody want. Nor does anybody want to live in 1 and 2 family homes on the corner of South Avenue and Center Street. So I want everyone to recognize that the planning board has already found that the redevelopment plan that's being proposed to council is consistent with the master plan that they prepared, and to keep that in mind. And I'm not going to get into everything else. I'm waiting for the redevelopment hearing to occur, but this whole density issue has to be recognized in light of what it costs to buy a piece of property, what it costs to demolish the property buildings that are there, what it costs to clean the property, what it costs to build development. So in recognizing those costs, the relationship to what we're looking at today on those properties, I think there has to be some kind of recognition by everyone, but it has to be some increase in density beyond the 8 to 15 units that the borough of Garwood can develop that today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to unfinished business, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews. Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Fiasco.
Aye.
Council President Corrigan.
Aye.
Resolutions deleted from the consent agenda?
None, Mayor.
Thank you. Any new business for the mayor and council? I would just like to talk about the 3 proposals we got in our mail pertaining to the financial and legal aspects of the redevelopment plan. I was going to ask the finance committee to review those 3 proposals and report back to the council by September 13th, which allows us time to make a decision after that. That's all I have. Thank you. Payment of claims, Mariana.
Be resolved that the following claims as approved be in the same or hereby ordered paid and properly signed and verified, and the payment of payrolls as listed hereby confirmed and ratified.
Motion for payment of claims.
So moved, Mayor?
Second. Roll call, Ms. Ariano.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Matthews.
Yes.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilman Fiasco.
Aye.
Council President Corrigan.
Aye.
Thank you. The regular meeting of the mayor and council will be held on Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016, in council chambers at 7:15 p.m. Workshop session to start at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mayor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Continue having a good summer.
What do you want to say here?